Did anybody ever explain to you why you're in a guardianship?
No, not exactly. But you know what? There are some things that I do know for myself. You know what I'm saying? And I understand because it's about my money. You know what I'm saying?
Can you talk to me about how Wendy ended up in a guardianship?
My understanding is somebody was in her bank account that Wells Fargo flagged, and there was large withdrawals being taken out.
My son, you know, he overstepped his boundaries in terms of me. You understand? He overstepped his boundaries, and he was inappropriately using my money.
Child, didn't I tell you that Wendy's son Kevin Jr. wasn't all that innocent? Well, baby, Wendy has broken her silence and has revealed that it was her own son that's been using her for his own selfish gains. There really isn't anyone in her family looking out for her without trying to line their pockets, it seems. Baby Wendy revealed from the window of her luxurious prison that her son was the reason that she's stuck in a conservatorship. He was just sopping away her money faster than it was coming in and kept her in the dark about exactly what he was spending money on. Baby, this is messy because this kid is Wendy's heart and soul. And for him to treat her the way his father treated her is trifling. And y'all, check this out. For Wendy to admit that her son did something like this really shows how nefarious his spending was.
Like, is he stealing from me? Look, all I know is that in terms of what I'm dealing with, and that this is still going on because, you know, that's when my money got frozen at Wells Fargo. Thank God. No more money stealing from my son and the other people.
When it comes to Wendy's conservatorship, there have always been some tiny, important details missing. Like, why did Wells Fargo freeze Wendy's accounts? Were they just being greedy and evil? And what exactly did the court see and hear for them to decide that Wendy needed a legal guardian so bad? And also, why is it that the court deemed that no one in Wendy's family, not even her son, was capable of being her guardian? Kevin Jr. didn't want to talk about it and only said that the conservatorship wasn't good for his mother. Even her niece didn't want to give too much away about how the whole thing started and simply touched on Wendy's relationship with her family and her love for her son Kevin.
As long as she has people around who are yes people, the same thing is always going to occur where she would ultimately just find any excuse to be by herself so she can get back to drinking.
When Wells Fargo froze Wendy's accounts back in 2022, they said in the court filings that Wells Fargo has strong reasons to believe that Williams is the victim of undue influence and financial exploitation. But they did not say who was exploiting or influencing her. We knew at the time that there was a lot of people stealing from Wendy. Like, remember how her ex-manager, Bernie Young, charged $10,000 to her credit card to hire an attorney to file a petition for guardianship over her? There were a lot of vultures flying around over her head, picking up what they could, and because of Wendy's health, she didn't really have a handle on things. But now, Wendy has just filed to end her conservatorship, stating that she's been doing better and has regained the capacity to handle her own affairs. And she's come to terms with the truth about how people in her life betrayed her, including the one she trusted the most, her son. Because can you believe that Kevin Jr. is the reason she ended up in a conservatorship in the first place? Baby, when Wendy said it, I had to clean my ears out twice, because what you mean that he's the reason you're stuck in this luxurious prison?
I eat lunch and dinner in my bedroom. I don't eat out there with the people that live here just because it's so goddamn depressing. There's a bathroom, there's a closet, and the TV, which was purchased by me through the guardian person.
Are you allowed to go out?
No, I am not allowed to go out. I can call you, but you can't call me.
What about communications? Do you have an iPad or some form of a computer?
I have not. Listen, I've asked the guardian person for an iPad since years, it seems like. But an iPad. Can I please have my telephone back? Can I please be able to call, my family? What is the problem with me calling and talking to friends of mine? They're not allowed to come in here, friends of mine.
Wendy had 4 or 5 miscarriages before she had Kevin. And if you listen to her show back in the day, she often called him her miracle baby and loved on him big time. While she was dealing with the divorce from Kevin Sr. and battling addiction, Wendy drew closer to her son and tried to have a deeper relationship with him. She would say that he was the man of the house, and even after she was locked out of her account, Wendy attempted to have her son serve as power of attorney, but the bank said no. Now, Wendy has admitted that Kevin Jr. took advantage of her ill health and swindled her, spending the money in her account like it was a bottomless pit, honey.
He has a way of getting with a couple of other people. You know what I'm saying? My son is not the only one, you know what I'm saying, involved with my money. You know what I'm saying?
In September, we know the judge said this in court. While Mr. Hunter, that's the son, Kevin, apologized for past mistakes and inappropriate behavior, the court is not convinced that he can keep her safe and wouldn't willingly or unwittingly expose her to financial exploitation. Does that resonate with you?
Yes, yes, yes.
Kevin has denied any impropriety when it came to Wendy's finances, and also that he cannot speak on camera because he's not allowed to per the judge. If Wendy is released, should she be placed under the care of her son, Kevin?
No. This is how we got here in the first place.
Wendy's former financial advisor at Wells Fargo, Lori Schiller, was really trying to help Wendy when she advised the bank to take control of Wendy's finances. The sad thing is that Kevin Jr. would always talk about what the bank did. He would twist the story to make it seem like the bank was trying to steal from Wendy. But let's be honest, a lot of us really did think that Wells Fargo was just being greedy. Now, did the bank go about it the wrong way? They certainly did. But that's the reason why Wendy still has something to fall back on.
Is a really good person. You know what? Oh, God, I'm not going to cry about that. Oh, I'm sorry for cursing. Look, my son is a good person, but at this point, he is a horrible person to me. You know what I'm saying? It's the way he moves with other people. You know what I'm saying? And what's going on with these other people at my apartment in Miami? What are you doing? Oh, you spent on what? And what is going on at Wells Fargo?
Back in 2023, Kevin Jr. denied the claims that he stole over $100,000 from his mother and said that he only used the money towards his mother's treatment. During Wendy's Lifetime documentary, he also said that his mom approved of everything he spent and was never cheap when it came to him.
I've never taken it without her because I've always spoken to her, and she's always wanted me to spend her money.
But from what Wendy's saying now, that wasn't true at all. Kevin had access to her credit cards, her phone, and accounts, and was starting to spend way more money than Wendy ever gave him permission to. Apart from the $113,000 he spent on renting a yacht for his 21st birthday, Kevin Jr. spent another $120,000 on his 24th birthday. And unless he was feeding the whole block, taking care of the homeless, and feeding stray cats and dogs, how the heck did Kevin rack up $80,000 on Uber Eats alone? I mean, do you really think that Wendy would buy her son a $2 million apartment when he was just starting college? Or let him spend that much money on a birthday party? Wendy always talked about how she didn't spend money on useless things because of how frugal she was. This was someone that brought her own hot sauce to restaurants up until her divorce, and she was still living in her own home in New Jersey and only left when her health declined and she started traveling between New York and Miami for treatment. The thing is, Wendy always wanted her son to have her money, but he overdid it. And who wants to bet that Kevin Sr. didn't have a hand in this? It's hard to believe that his father didn't actively encourage him to do the things that he was doing, so long as he was getting something on the side, if you know what I mean. Kevin Jr. thought that he was entitled to Wendy's money and he could get away with treating her like that because he had seen his father do it for years and got to walk away scot-free with millions. Like father, like son.
But I think that there are other options at this point in terms of who can care for and make sure that his mother at 60 years old is taken care of properly.
Kevin Jr. is old enough to see his mother as more than just someone to pay the bills, and this was something he definitely did intentionally and relied on her addiction to keep her in the dark. In the TMZ interview, it was said that the bank tried to reach out to Wendy, but when they were unable to do so, they froze her accounts. Wendy also said that her son held onto her phone and wouldn't give it to her when she asked.
It seems as if they weren't able to get in contact with Wendy, so Wells Fargo pursued guardianship.
Hunter and Wendy!
She was living with her son, I believe. Wells Fargo decided the prudent thing to do was to make sure she's not being taken advantage of.
Correct.
What is going on with my son? And where's my phone? Where's my phone, Kevin? Where is my phone? Why are you keeping my phone? And there was nothing that I could do without my phone. You know what I'm saying? Who am I going to call? I don't know anybody.
So it really appears that Kevin Jr. didn't want the banks telling Wendy about what all he had going on, and even went as far as to get an older woman to pretend to be his mother so that he can keep getting money without any issues. Dang. It's terrible that Wendy was betrayed by the person she trusted and loved the most. She adored her son and put him on a pedestal. Even now, she's still trying to protect him by saying that he's a good person, even though he was horrible to her. But no one is buying it right now. Giving birth to your enemy is a different type of pain. Kevin Hunter Jr. was her pride, and she loved him with all her heart. He found nothing better than taking advantage of his own mother during a moment of weakness and betrayed her. For him to be stealing from her and giving it to his father is truly disgusting. This situation is really heartbreaking to hear. Wendy is going to need a strong support system, and Kevin Jr. definitely has a lot more growing to do before Wendy can trust him again. But what do y'all think about this? Sound off in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, baddies.